Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here with OddsJam, here to give you some last-minute bets to lock in for the NFL playoff betting slate today. We got 3 games. We got a ton of positive EV plays to lock in from the OddsJam positive expected value page. So let's get right into it. Not going to mess around. First play in the Giants versus Vikings game. We are looking at TJ Hawkinson to go over 4.5 receptions. This play is at minus 115 odds at Bet365. One thing I'll note, Bet365 is becoming legal in more and more states. I think it might have just happened. So I would definitely make sure to take a look at the betting landscape of your state and see if Bet365 just legalized there. Because, like I said, they just announced that they're becoming legal in more and more states. So the play is, I mentioned TJ Hawkinson. I know that this is the play because it's bolded with the highlight around it. So first things first, whenever you are on the positive EV page, this is always going to be the positive EV play, whichever one is bolded with the rectangle around it. Doesn't matter anything else, that the odds, as long as, again, last time I'll say it, bolded with the blue rectangle around it. So the reason why this play is mathematically profitable, everything feeds from these no vig odds here, which you see at about minus 127.67. So when it comes to sports betting, not every sportsbook is going to have the same exact odds for every single play. As you can see from this screenshot here, we see odds range from minus 115 up to minus 167. Also, what this means is that not every single sportsbook is going to be equal in terms of how often they're accurate when they price their odds, meaning some sportsbooks are historically more accurate than others. Over the course of time, some sportsbooks are better than others at pricing odds. So what OddsJam did was backtest thousands and thousands of betting opportunities to determine what sportsbooks are the sharp ones. Those sportsbooks feed into these no vig odds here. So it's a weighted average pulled from all of those sportsbooks. So these no vig odds you can view as the true line of what a market should truly be priced at. We are the true line of this is at about, like I said, minus 127, minus 128. We're getting that 12 to 13 cents lower at minus 115. That is remarkable, the gap between the OddsJam perfect line and the bet that we are locking in, telling you that this is a really very profitable bet. Another thing that I like to do before I place bets, and I do this for every single bet that I place, is if you click into a play here, so it's highlighted blue, you just click the button, it pulls up where every major sportsbook is pricing odds for this play. So what you want to do is just look and see if the bet that you are placing is an outlier compared to the rest of the betting markets, right? The logic for this being, if every single sportsbook, except for one, has something priced one way, the most logical scenario is that this one sportsbook that is an outlier here just has incorrect odds, has a mispriced line. And in this case, this mispriced line is in our favor as the sports bettor because it's a higher payout. Instead of paying minus 156 odds for TJ Hawkinson to go over 4.5 receptions, why not just pay minus 115? Why not pay literally 40 cents less for the same exact play? And majority of sportsbooks are aligned with this minus 156. They all think TJ Hawkinson is significantly more likely to go over this prop, except for Bet365, which makes it a really good bet. So I hit this one, TJ Hawkinson over 4.5 receptions. I put $85 to win just below 75. That's kind of how I have my player props managed. I risk to win $75 on player props. So, or I just risk $75 on a one that's plus money. So this is play 1, TJ Hawkinson over 4.5 receptions. Play number 2, same sportsbook, Stefan Diggs over 6.5 receptions. So again, I know this is the play because it's bolded. It's got the blue outline around it. Plus 120 odds at Bet365. The OddsJam perfect line, the no vig line of this, prices it to be at about plus 113. And we're getting it all the way up at plus 120. And then again, let's compare the odds here. So when it comes to player props, there are sports books that are considered the sharpest specifically for player props. Number 1 is Pinnacle, considered the sharpest. So you want to look at these sharp sports books. Pinnacle being number 1, minus 107. That's a good sign. BetOnline is another sharp sports book. They have it at minus 114 each way. They basically think that it's a 50-50 outcome whether Stefan Diggs goes over or under this reception prop. I know that because they're charging equal amounts of juice on the over and the under. That's BetOnline saying they don't know what's more likely, so they're charging it equal each way. We're getting it all the way up at plus 120 at Bet365. So they think it's 50-50. We're getting 20 cents higher than that, which means if you place 1,000 bets in at plus 120 odds and you win half your bets, you will be making a lot of money. You'll be a king of sports betting if that's the case. And then another book, not given as heavyweight as Pinnacle and BetOnline, but DraftKings is also a pretty sharp sports book. They have this 20 cents lower at plus 100. Then most of the other sports books are pretty decently below this plus 120 as well, telling you that it is a good bet. So I hit it. I put $75 on this one, Stefan Diggs over 6.5 receptions. That's play number 2. Play number 3, these ones I ended up avoiding because I didn't think the outlier was good enough just to be a heads up why I'm not taking every single one. That's why I only bet on plays that are heavily outliers. Play number 3, Justin Jefferson to go over 92.5 receiving yards. So again, Bet365, check your state. It's a really good sports book. Prices this at minus 110. We are getting, the OddsJam perfect line has this at about minus 113.5. So smaller gap between the two numbers, still profitable. Even the smaller gaps can still be very good plays. So definitely don't avoid them. Minus 110 versus minus 113. It's a good price. And then looking at the other sports books, minus 110 at Bet365. Ballybet is close at minus 115, but every other book is a minimum 15 to 22 cents higher than the Bet365 number. And then one additional thing you can do, and this only works for props that have different totals, like receiving yards, rushing yards, passing yards. It also works for like spreads and totals. So we know that there are different odds for this individual play, right? Right now, we are looking at odds for the over 92.5 and for the under. But not every single sportsbook is going to price this over under at 92.5. So since we are taking the over, if you view this event page in a new tab, it pulls up where every major sportsbook is pricing Justin Jefferson's receiving yardage prop. And again, since we're taking an over, we want to make sure that the sportsbooks that don't price it at 92.5 price it above that. So let's see, we're looking at Justin Jefferson receiving yards. And as we can see, so we got it at 92.5. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can fit every single sportsbook. So we got it at 92.5. So it looks like a DFS company Prize Picks prices it at 91.5. So if you use Prize Picks, definitely hammer this on Prize Picks. That's a really good play. But other sportsbooks, majority of them have it at 92.5 and they heavily juice the over. But we see other sportsbooks have it at 94.5, 2 yards higher. 95.5, 3 yards higher. 96.5, 97.5. So not only that, but BetOnline is this column right here, BetOnline. Not only do they price Justin Jefferson's receiving yardage prop 5 yards higher, they also favor it going over. They think that he should be priced over under 97.5, but he's still more likely to go over that. See, they're charging heavier juice towards the over. So that's just another way you can look into a play and see how valuable the play is. So this is an insane value when you look at everything. Every sportsbook either prices it at 92.5, but heavily juices it going over, or they price the receiving prop above 92.5. Either way, that is in our favor since we're taking over 92.5. So I hit this one as well. Justin Jefferson over 92.5 receiving yards. I put $82.50 to win 75, to profit 75 is my logic there. That's play number 3. Play number 4, Devin Singletary under 11.5 rushing attempts, minus 110 at Bet365, OddsJam perfect line at minus 112. Look at every other book. So we have 3 that are a little bit closer, minus 115, minus 115, minus 117. But then look at the rest, minus 135, minus 144, which is insane, minus 135, minus 137. You could ignore Underdog because they are a daily fantasy sports company, so they have the same odds for everything. So really good play on Devin Singletary to go under, it's bolded, under 11.5 rushing attempts. That's play number 4. And I'll go through these quicker because I know this is getting long for a last minute video. Saquon Barkley over 72.5 rushing yards, minus 110 odds at Bet365. OddsJam perfect line prices is close to minus 111. The other sports books price it 10 to 25 cents higher. So major sportsbook 10 to 25 cents higher, showing you that this Saquon Barkley one is a good price. That's play number 5. And I believe, so there's 2 more. Dalvin Cook over 69.5 rushing yards. That's very nice. Minus 110 odds at Bet365. It's the same logic here. Every sportsbook, same thing as the Saquon and the Justin Jefferson one. Every sportsbook either prices it at 69.5, heavily favoring the over, or they priced his rushing yardage prop above this number. And then the last one, Devin Singletary under 46.5 rushing yards as my 7th and final play for this video. So if you're tailing any and all 7 of these picks, comment and let me know. But that's all I got. So I appreciate everybody watching, and have a good one.